Welcome to Touch Technology Review. Today we're taking a look at the Rode Lavalier Go, which is the perfect accompaniment to a Rode Wireless Go kit. I reviewed this particular product about 6 months ago. I've been using it extensively since, and in the past I have been using either the built-in microphone in the transmitter, but more so I was using the Rode SmartLav with the SC3 adapter so that I could use a lapel microphone, which is much easier to conceal on your subject matter. So there's quite often an instance where you just can't get away with using the transmitter on the subject matter. It just stands out a little bit too much. Certainly for reviews on this channel, I don't mind it being seen, but when I'm doing corporate work, you want to be as discreet as possible when you're placing your microphones. So I'm tending to use a Smart Lav quite a lot when I'm on location. Unfortunately, yesterday, one of my Smart Lavs was damaged during the shoot. It's quite often the case when you allow your clients to apply their own microphones, they're a little bit rough with them, sometimes they drop them, and in this case I think the client was just pulling on the cord a little bit too much. It's damaged and there's clearly no signal coming out of it whatsoever. It's about 1.5 years old now anyway, so I'm pretty much happy to put it to rest, but it prompted me to go out and look for an alternative. So rather than replace it with another Smart Lav, I thought I'd check out this Lavalier Go to see if indeed it was any better in terms of quality of sound, in terms of level, just to see if it was actually a better choice to use with the Rode Wireless Go kit. So what you're listening to now is coming out of this Lavalier Go, and I'm about to now swap over to the Smart Lav Plus so that we can hear the difference, and also I'll give you a sample of what the audio sounds like coming out of the transmitter in case you're interested in that. If you want to see more information about the Rode Wireless Go, I've actually produced a full unboxing and review video on that product, and I'll leave a link to it in the description box below. But for this particular video, as I mentioned, I just wanted to show you, or rather give you a chance to listen to the audio quality of these Lav microphones. So we're about to switch over now to the Smart Lav, and we'll check out how that sounds. So bear with me just one moment while I take out the connection from the 3.5 input. I'm now plugging in a Rode SmartLav, talking directly into the transmitter. So I'll plug that in, and I'll just place this in the same position as the previous microphone. So now you're listening to a sample of the Rode SmartLav plugged into the 3.5 input of the transmitter of the Rode Wireless Go. And both of these signals that you're listening to are completely unadulterated. They're coming in as the pure signal that came from the device. They're being plugged into the receiver, which is on a Canon EOS R, which is situated about 1.5 meters away from me. So there's no level adjustment in Premiere, which is my video editing software. There's no effects, there's no noise reduction. I've got to say it sounds really clean to me, and that's partly due to the quality of these microphones, but also the incredible preamps that you get on the Canon EOS R. So perhaps not all cameras will sound this clean, because a big part of the audio signal is dependent on the quality of the preamps. So if you are using a lesser camera, a different manufacturer, there could be some line noise depending on those preamps. And if that's the case, you could always use the Smart Lav or the Lavalier Go with a dedicated audio recorder, such as the Zoom H1, which is the one that I tend to use on location, so that I get both a dedicated audio source and also the backup audio from the camera. So a number of different ways of getting that audio input in. Now let's switch over to hear the audio coming out of the Wireless Go transceiver. So here it is, the microphone quality coming out of the Rode Wireless Go transmitter. This is to compare against the Lavalier Go and the Smart Lav Plus. So it would be very interesting to hear your thoughts and comments, your feedback, which microphone you think sounds better, and whether you think it's worth spending that little bit extra on the Lavalier Go, which is about $10 or $20 more than the Smart Lav Plus, depending on which country you live. To me, they all sound a little bit similar. When I put it into Premiere on the timeline, if I've got any additional notes or comments myself, I'll add them during the edit. But for me, having listened to them previously, they do sound pretty similar. Now I'm just going to quickly switch back once again to free up my hands. Back to the Lavalier Go. Thanks for watching. If you found this information useful, feel free to hit me up with a like. If you've got any questions whatsoever about the Rode Lavalier Go, the Smart Lav Plus, or even the Wireless Go kit, feel free to put those questions in the comments box below. And don't forget to subscribe so that you'll be notified of up and coming video releases. See you on the next one. Bye for now. I've just quickly previewed that video on the timeline, listened to all of those audio recordings, and I've got to say it was quite surprising to note that the Rode Lavalier Go wasn't as bassy as the Smart Lav Plus. It kind of reminded me of the sound of the audio that comes out of the Wireless Go itself. They've kind of paired it equally, which, as I said, isn't as bassy, in which case I tend to apply a little bit of EQ, which is what you're listening to now. So I would do that with any microphone recording anyway, but I do like to have a little bit more presence in the bottom end of the audio. So I've applied some parametric EQ and biased the bass just slightly. I've also added some compression in order to lift that vocal right out of the mix, and also a little bit of a Diverberate plugin, which enables me to pull some of the reverb out of the mix, which is going to be inevitable in just about any indoor recording. So there are a couple of filters that I tend to use on all of my recordings here on the channel, and this really brings it into line with the rest of the recordings that I'm accustomed to producing on my videos. Got to say, very pleased with the Rode Lavalier Go. If you do run with the Wireless Go kit only, and it's your only recorder, makes a lot of sense. But if you are using other alternatives, other dedicated audio recorders, plugging directly into a camera, plugging into an iPhone, perhaps the Smart Lav Plus is the way to go. And you can always get that SC3 adapter to make it more versatile. So hopefully you found this additional section useful. Thanks again. See you on the next one. Bye for now. And one final test, I thought I would check out what the Rode Lavalier Go sounds like when plugged into a dedicated audio recorder. I'm not using the Zoom H1, I'm using the Zoom H6, which has even higher end preamps. So we get to hear what it sounds like in a more professional audio recorder. I've got the Lavalier Go plugged into the 3.5 input on the XY adapter on the Zoom H6, and it's recording directly into it. I'm bypassing the Rode Wireless Go altogether, so it's a direct line input, and this is what it sounds like. And one further test, plugging the Lavalier Go directly into the Zoom H1, which I showed you earlier in the recording, and this is plugged directly to the line input on the side. This is what it sounds like.